You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. British newspaper The Guardian has sent a reply to Foreign Affairs spokesperson Khoi Kwong, assuring him that its article incorrectly stating that Prime Minister Hun Sen was one of thousands of non-European citizens holding a Cypriot passport has been edited. The report was first published last Sunday and went viral in Cambodia, prompting a widespread backlash. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the story.
In it stated that Prime Minister Hun Sen was listed as one of thousands of non-Europeans who had been given a Cypriot passport. The article was quickly condemned and subsequently edited to read that members of Prime Minister's incorrection from The Guardian. It also sent a letter to the Cypriot government asking for cooperation in providing proof that Prime Minister Hun Sen is not a citizen of their country, which mandates only Khmer nationality for the country's top office bearers. The Guardian's readers editor Elizabeth Ribbons issued accordingly. Ribbons has also added that the edited article is scheduled to be listed in The Guardian's online corrections and clarification column and will appear in the early hours, but hopes that its prompt action to rectify this error provides a satisfactory resolution. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Cambodia's rollout of booster shots to the general population has begun in 11 of Phnom Penh's 14 districts, the third borders. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko has the details.
The first and second dose campaign has been an incontestable success. 11 points to achieving a new normal, with the booster shot campaign rolling out first in Phnom Penh. The campaign was officially launched on Monday by Defense Minister Tia Ben, who said the booster...
Previously, we opened the campaign on the 30th of April at this place and red zones in Phnom Penh for the first time in 4 districts. Now I have expanded to 6 districts and to some factories. In the COVID-19, that almost 100% of the adult population has been vaccinated.
Focus on increasing immunity by applying booster shots for the general public. Starting this Monday in 11 of Phnom Penh's 14 districts, the residents should bring their vaccination cards and head to a vaccination center to receive their free booster shot vaccine. The capital's remaining of the country. Yuri Matosko, EAC News, Phnom Penh.
Cases down to 4,131. The latest numbers take the kingdom's total COVID-19 case count to 115,068. The death toll has reached 2,527. The number of patients treated successfully has climbed to 108,403. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Serbia says it is delegate to the Prime Minister, Uj Borit, on the Serbian Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Serbia is ready for the planned visit of Prime Minister Hun Sen to the country, which will further deepen the friendship and cooperation between the two states. The foreign minister has added that the Serbian government is considering opening missions across Southeast Asia. By the end of this year, it will send a delegation to visit countries in the region, including Cambodia. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. People living along the Prek Tanab River in southern Phnom Penh are being advised to prepare for possible evacuation. Water levels have risen dramatically in recent days, and while not flooded yet, the Phnom Penh Department of Water Resources says the river is already at dangerous levels and will flood if it rises another half a meter.
Phnom Penh Governor Kong Sreng went to inspect the condition of the river on Sunday. He says authorities are ready to help residents. A dike is being built to ward off any flash floods, but officials have advised people to prepare food and their valuables in case an evacuation is ordered. The rising water levels are not just from days of heavy rain, but also from the additional water flowing into the river from Kampong Spu to the north. Evacuations will be ordered if the water level reaches between 7.5 and 8 meters.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. 24 Cambodians have been arrested in Banteay Meanchey for attempting to cross illegally into Thailand. They were picked up by the Cambodian Border Guard Force, which has been enforcing strict monitoring in the districts of Malai and Timor Pork. Ban Tie Military Operation Area Commander Brigadier General Khan has told EAC News that of the 24 arrested, 20 were in the Malay district. All 24, though, were trying to cross the border illegally, seeking work in Thailand. They have been transferred to a quarantine centre. Border Guard forces have been arresting illegal border crossers almost daily, despite strict warnings from the government about the Delta variant in the border region. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. After a pandemic-forced delay, Miss Grand Cambodia 2021 finally took place on Sunday. 23-year-old Pokimten Sotida of Battambang beat out beauties from the country's other provinces,
giving the Battambang candidate the crown of Miss Grand Cambodia 2021. Sotida has a long history of winning beauty pageant, having been crowned Miss City Tourism in 2017, and Miss Asia is not just about the beauty, but the opportunity to share love and kindness, while there are so many people still suffering not just in Cambodia, but as she reminded, in the Southeast Asian nation of Myanmar. Followed by more than 18,000 people in her, with third place going to Sihanoukville and Kumton.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Cambodia's pavilion at the 2020 World Expo in Dubai has received plenty of praise from international guests. The Ministry of Commerce set up the kingdom's pavilion, which has been wowing both local and international visitors.
The theme is sustainability for the Cambodian pavilion. The design showcases Khmer style with a vision combining ancient culture and current economic development. It features the four main historical periods. Pre-Angkor, Cambodia was one of more than 30 countries selected by the World Expo Committee for last month's trial run. The Cambodian pavilion has received thousands of visitors. Over 2 floors, it showcases the construction of a country rich in culture. All the in sculptures, Vishnu, Shiva, and temple guards. The 2020 World Expo in Dubai opened on 1st October and runs through to the end of March next year. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Well, now for a look at news making international headlines. This Monday, the 11th of October.
Killing 16 people and severely injuring 6 others. The plane, which came down near the city of Manzalinsky, had been carrying 20 parachutists and 2 crew members. It is the 3rd Russian plane crash in as many months. According to Russian media, the plane was built in 1987, and its regional branch says that the parachuting club that operated the flight was very experienced, but the state-run cosmonaut training facility has suspended its ties with the Aero Club pending an investigation. Local authorities believe one of the engines could have failed. Russian aviation safety standards have been tightened in recent years, but accidents continue to happen, particularly in remote regions. All 28 people on board an Antonov twin-engine turboprop died in a crash in Kamchatka.
A car bomb targeting the governor's convoy has struck the Yemeni southern port city. A spokesman says Governor Ahmed Lamlas and Agriculture Minister Salem Al-Sukatri both survived what is being called a terrorist assassination attempt. Lamlas is Secretary General of the STC in fighting among its ranks. The government and the STC are nominal allies under a coalition led by Saudi Arabia, which has been battling the Iran-aligned Houthi, complicating UN-led peace efforts to end the war in Yemen. It has claimed the lives of tens of thousands of people and left 80% of the population reliant on aid. The government is based in the south, while the Houthis control most of the north.
And more buildings near the volcano on the Spanish island of La Palma have been engulfed by rivers of red-hot lava, intensified by the spectacle volcano and flowing down what remains of the Cumbre Vieja volcano. It has already destroyed nearly 1,150 buildings and engulfed 480 hectares of land. About 6,000 people have been evacuated from their homes.
You're watching EAC News. Thanks for joining us. Cambodia's national football squad are on a high after their first leg win over Guam, 23 Asian Football Championship finals in China, but also $100,000 in cash from Prime Minister Hun Sen. He offered the incentive on Sunday while congratulating the Angkor Warriors on their first leg win. Cambodia went into the match as favourites, and they didn't disappoint. In the 26th minute, the two sides face each other again at 12:30 a.m. on Wednesday morning Cambodian time at the same stadium in Bahrain. Cambodia only need a draw to move to the 2023 AFC finals and bag that $100,000 in cash from Prime Minister. China will host the finals between the 16th of June and 16th of July 2023. You're watching EAC News. Thanks for joining us. World champions France have won the Nations League with a 2-1 win over Spain at the San Siro Stadium. Their goals came from Karim Benzema and Kylian Mbappe. The lock was broken, with Spain taking the lead. But France responded quickly, with Mbappe finding Benzema, who cut inside before unleashing a brilliant curling shot into the far corner to make it 1-1. Mbappe then grabbed the winner 10 minutes from the final whistle. Didier Deschamps says his team
Yes, Karim is a crucial player, and he has proven over the course of these two matches that he has a very obvious talent. It's there for all to see, and he's really kicked on, communicates a great deal with his teammates. So, I'm very happy for everyone, but I'm very happy for him. He needed that. He's not going to play another 4 or 5 competitions at international level. I don't think so, at least. It's not the most important piece of silverware, but how much have we won this week? I don't know, but I know that we are able to win against the European champions and play at almost an even level with the world champions. So, for the players and the team, that is all good. Of course, it will be every time more difficult to win.
French fans went wild after the match, with plenty of hangovers still lingering in Milan on Monday. The Nations League win cements their country's position as champions of the world. You're watching EAC News. Thanks for joining us. Britain's Tyson Fury won Saturday night's slugfest with American Deontay Wilder, earning himself an 11th round knockout to retain his WBC heavyweight title at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. But Fury ultimately overwhelmed Wilder to remain undefeated. With the win, Fury has now taken 2 of the rival's last 3 meetings. Fury is now hoping for a world heavyweight unification fight against Anthony Joshua, but he's going to have to wait. Joshua has triggered his clause for a rematch against the Ukrainian last month, but has opted to try and get them back. If he does, that could put him on course for a bout with Fury, who's looking to be the world's undisputed heavyweight champion. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The world is hard at work preparing for its first manned mission to Mars. It might only happen in 20 to 30 years' time, but that doesn't mean we're not but through a desert in southern Israel. The location has been selected for its similarity to Mars for a team of 6, 5 men and 1 woman, to simulate what it will be like living on the red planet for about a month. From the door of their expedition base, it's just a few small steps. Inside, they sleep, eat, and conduct experiments. Outside, they wear mock spacesuits fitted with cameras, microphones, and self-contained breathing systems.
We have the motto of fail fast, fail cheap, and have a steep learning curve, because for every mistake we make here on Earth, we hopefully don't repeat it on Mars, because we've done it before.
Definitely can go there if we want to do it.
Yeah, we're 6 people working in tight space under a lot of pressure to do a lot of tasks. There are bound to be challenges, but I trust my crew that we're able to overcome those challenges. We learned how to work together, we train together.
Favorite spots for congregating, all of this to better understand the human factor for a Mars mission. Outside, other engineers and specialists work with a drone and rover to improve autonomous navigation and mapping on a world where GPS is obviously not yet available. Altogether, they will carry out more than 20 experiments before this mission for Mars is complete. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, please, please wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. EAC News' audience is growing. Our YouTube channel has over 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube. It's given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates EAC News' hard work and incredible achievement. She says we brought a unique voice and style to the world, but have also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to YouTube and search for EAC News. Subscribers get alerts when the daily roundup is premiering and live events are streaming. Get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. The EAC News channel.
Oh, virus COVID-19 បំផ្លែងថ្មីឆ្លងខ្លាំងគួរឲ្យបារម្ភណាស់យើងដឹងហើយថាវីរុស COVID-19 ដូចជាវីរុសផ្សេងទៀតដែរបំផ្លែងខ្លួនជាប្រចាំដែលអាចធ្វើឲ្យវាមានភាពធន់ជាងមុនងាយឆ្លងរាតត្បាតជាងមុនព្រមទាំងបង្កជាជំងឺដែលធ្ងន់ជាងមុន Data បច្ចុប្បន្នកំពុងរីករាលដាលទៅជាង 100 ប្រទេសនៅលើសកលលោកអ្នកវិទ្យាសាស្ត្របាននឹងកំពុងតាមដានការវិវត្តនៃវីរុស COVID-19 ជាប្រចាំវីរុស COVID-19 បំផ្លែងថ្មី Delta មានការចម្លងខ្ពស់ជាងមុនរហូតដល់ 15 ដងនិងងាយបង្កជាជំងឺ COVID-19 ធ្ងន់ធ្ងរចូលយើងត្រូវការពារមិនទៅវិទ្យាសាស្ត្រនៅតែបង្ហាញថាវិធានការ 3 ការពារ 3 កុំនិងទៅទទួលវ៉ាក់សាំងនៅពេលដល់វេនរបស់អ្នកនៅតែចាំបាច់សម្រាប់ការការពារបុគ្គលម្នាក់ៗគ្រួសារនិងសហគមន៍ពីជំងឺ COVID-19
ដូច្នេះយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាត្រូវអនុវត្តឲ្យបានខ្ជាប់ខ្ជួននិងត្រឹមត្រូវនៅវិធានការ 3 ការពារ 3 កុំការពារ 3 កុំឲ្យបានហ្មត់ចត់ត្រឹមត្រូវនិងទៅទទួលវ៉ាក់សាំងនៅពេលដល់វេនរបស់អ្នករួមគ្នាទទួលខុសត្រូវទប់ស្កាត់ការចម្លងវីរុស COVID-19តើលោកអ្នកចិត្តរៀបអាពាហ៍ពិពាហ៍មែនទេហើយពិបាករកក្រុមហ៊ុនថតវីដេអូផ្សាយផ្ទាល់ដែលមានគុណភាពមែនទេអស់កង្វល់រ៉ាទីកាជាក្រុមហ៊ុនទទួលស្គាល់លំដាប់អន្តរជាតិលើសេវាកម្មថតផ្សាយផ្ទាល់គ្រប់កម្មវិធីកម្រិត 4K ដំបូងបង្អស់នៅកម្ពុជាការប្រើប្រាស់ឧបករណ៍ 3 ធានាគុណភាពការផលិតតាមបច្ចេកវិទ្យាទាន់សម័យរ៉ាទីកានឹងជួយធ្វើឲ្យកម្មវិធីលោកអ្នកកាន់តែមានភាពអស្ចារ្យលោកអ្នកនឹងបានឃើញរាល់សកម្មភាពក្នុងពិធីទៅលើកញ្ចក់ទូរទស្សន៍ទំហំធំកម្រិត 4K និងការបញ្ចាំងលើផ្ទាំងក្រណាត់សព្រមទាំង LED ដែលមានរូបភាពច្បាស់ត្រជាក់ភ្នែក848 017 838 889និង016 823 848 រ៉ាទីកាទំនុកចិត្តការទទួលខុសត្រូវនិងគុណភាពខ្ពស់
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Pachumben proved to be the boost domestic tourism businesses needed. While the numbers of local tourists were down about 40% on last year, more than 660,000 people still traveled throughout Cambodia during the three-day national holiday. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko takes a look at the numbers.
The Minister of Tourism, Ton Kun, has announced that more than 664,000 tourists took their suitcases and went to visit different spots of the country. The main destinations appear to be at the coast. Kampot experienced a surge in bookings between 5 and 7 of October, with more than 100,000 tourists. Pria Sihanouk saw more than 80,000 people visiting. 50,000 travelers enjoyed their holiday in Pursat, while Kampong Spoon, Badenbang, Kampong Chun, although on Thursday, about 10% of holidaymakers had checked out and were heading home. The second day of Pichunben, Pichunton, was the busiest, with almost 270,000 people heading out on vacation, up 82% on the day before. Yuri Matosko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Reported missing, the last of their bodies was recovered in the early hours of Friday morning. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko has the story.
It was supposed to be a day of fun at the beach when late of a storm surge. 25-year-old Leng Sere Diep, 20-year-old Leng Churok, 16-year-old Leng Sochit, and 12-year-old Leng Dao went on until 1 a.m. on Friday, when Leng Dao was finally found. Pria Sihanouk Provincial Police Commissioner Chuan Naren says the bodies have been examined and have been handed over to the family for traditional funeral rites. Yuri Matosko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The border between Thailand affected, which is not only a problem for people, but for vehicles as well. District Governor Sok Kim Kon says they are monitoring water levels and have advised people to take extra precautions.
It now looks more like a river, making it extremely difficult, not to mention dangerous, for people and vehicles to cross. District Governor Sok Kim Kon says the flooding streams from both Battambang's Phnom Proek district as well as from the Thai side of the border. He says other districts in the province are also experiencing flooding. Reyes Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. UNICEF has released a new report warning about the effect of COVID-19 on children and teenagers around the world. It stated the world's children, specifically at the secondary school level, have experienced some form of mental health issue as a result of the pandemic. EAC News reporter Reo Soko.
According to the latest of mental disorder, in Cambodia, UNICEF surveyed 15 to 19-year-olds, 45% of whom said they were worried about their safety during another survey. A joint education needs assessment was conducted by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport, the Education Sector Working Group, and UNICEF after schools closed and revealed that 58% of secondary school students reported experiencing at least one mental health issue. UNICEF's Cambodia representative Foro Foyisat says children in the kingdom, just like the rest of the world, reaction and the socioeconomic impact of the pandemic have all come at a great cost to the mental health of children and the youth. The hope is with secondary schools having reopened in the kingdom and primary schools with their friends. Reyes Soko, EAC News.
Thank you for joining us. Now for a look at news making international headlines this Friday, the 8th of October.
At least 4 people swamped and dozens of people have been evacuated, leaving entire communities underwater. The South Alabama town lost its main grocery store when a creek came through the doors of the confirms that a 4-year-old girl and an 18-year-old woman died in a separate incident when flash floods carried away vehicles in northeast Alabama. Bodies of from vehicles and more than 80 were rescued from flooded homes.
The World Health Organization has recommended a groundbreaking malaria vaccine for children.
Dear colleagues and friends, that we would have an effective vaccine against this ancient and terrible disease. And today is that day, and historic. This recommendation is based on results from an ongoing pilot program in Ghana, Kenya, and Malawi that has reached more than 800,000 children's child health and malaria control.
The World Health Organization is recommending widespread use of the RTS malaria vaccine among children in sub-Saharan Africa. It kills more than 250,000 children in the region every year.
And the U.S. nuclear-powered fast attack submarine, 15 sailors were reported injured. Officials say it's still unclear what caused the collision. A U.S. Navy spokesperson says the submarine is now headed towards the U.S. territory of Guam. The sub-nuclear propulsion plant.
You're watching EAC News. Thanks for joining us. France will face a goal deficit to win 3-2. It was a real thriller, with a last-minute strike from Theo Hernandez securing France's place in Sunday's showpiece against Spain. In a crazy end to the game, described the match as fabulous.
This ability that we had to start with our three offensive players who hustled from everywhere, who made them make many mistakes, and who led us to reverse a situation that was very complicated this time. But there isn't any. But to be able to do what we did, we must not forget the team we have in France now. It's not for nothing that they are the best team in the world rankings. So it's fabulous what France team managed to do from being down.
After Spain's impressive and inspiring victory over European champions Italy on Wednesday, Thursday was another night of top-quality football in a competition that was in danger of being completely forgotten amid the post-pandemic calendar crush. Your consortium has been warmly received by its legion of fans. The purchase has brought to an end the deeply unpopular reign of owner Mike Ashley, who had long ceased to be a fan favourite over what announcement chanting, "We've got our club back." In a letter addressed to the new owners, the chair of the Newcastle United Supporters Trust, Greg Tomlinson, said that for the first time in many years, fans believe that Saudi Arabia is trying to sports wash its human rights record. You're watching EAC News. Thanks for joining us. Two of Africa's biggest, both teams were hard at work in training on Thursday in the Egyptian port city of Alexandria.
Neither team taking any chances in training, even if the result by anyway for Qatar 2022. Despite that, newly appointed Egypt coach Carlos Queiroz says his side's only goal is to
That's our job, talk inside the pitch. Players talk inside the pitch. And the reality it is this. Libya, with quality of the group. No doubt about that. Now, our goal tomorrow, it is to be the best top team in the group.
Libya coach Javier Clemente said his side will have their work cut out for them if they hope to beat Egypt, who are armed with star player Mohamed Salah. The African neighbors will face each other again.
EAC News. Thanks for joining us. You might always have wanted to take a trip in a hot air balloon, but would you necessarily want to take one 30th of space tourism? Tech company Worldview has announced plans to float passengers to the edge of space. Flying up to the stratosphere in a helium-filled balloon might make even the most hardened passenger $500 for those interested in the balloon capsule. Flights are set to begin in early 2024 for about $50,000 a ticket.
Seeing the Earth as the living, the devastation of like the erosion of the Great Barrier Reef, that's not something you can see when you're standing next to something, right? It's not something you start seeing the Earth without race. You see it as a living organism. It is truly a different perspective. It is truly something that you cannot experience any other way.
Such things as the Great Barrier Reef, the Grand Canyon, the Great Wall of China, and the Amazon, not to mention of space itself. fully supports the royal government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please. EAC News' audience is growing. Our YouTube channel has over 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube. It's given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates EAC's valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to YouTube and search for EAC News. Subscribers get alerts when the daily roundup is premiering and live events are streaming. Get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. The EAC News channel on YouTube. Cambodia made clear.
Tao លោកអ្នកចិត្តរៀបអាពាហ៍ពិពាហ៍មែនទេហើយពិបាកក្រុមហ៊ុនទទួលស្គាល់លំដាប់អន្តរជាតិលើសេវាកម្មថតផ្សាយផ្ទាល់គ្រប់កម្មវិធីកម្រិត 4K ដំបូងបង្អស់នៅកម្ពុជារ៉ាទីកាប្រើប្រាស់ឧបករណ៍ទំនើបនឹងជួយធ្វើឲ្យកម្មវិធីលោកអ្នកកាន់តែមានភាពអស្ចារ្យលោកអ្នកនឹងបានឃើញរាល់សកម្មភាពក្នុងពិធីទៅលើកញ្ចក់ទូរទស្សន៍ទំហំធំកម្រិត 4K និងការបញ្ចាំងលើផ្ទាំងក្រណាត់សព្រមទាំង LED សាប់012 823 848 017 838 889និង016 823 848រ៉ាហ្វិកាទំនុកចិត្តការទទួលខុសត្រូវនិងគុណភាពតែយើងកំពុងតែព្រួយបារម្ភគ្រប់គ្នានេះចាតែតានេះមកបច្ចុប្បន្ននេះគឺ135ប្រទេសហើយ
អូវីរុស COVID-19 បំផ្លែងថ្មីដែលអាចធ្វើឲ្យវាមានភាពធន់ជាងមុនងាយឆ្លងរាតត្បាតជាងមុនព្រមទាំងបង្កជាជំងឺដែលធ្ងន់ជាងមុន Data បច្ចុប្បន្នកំពុងរីករាលដាលទៅជាង100ប្រទេសនៅលើសកលលោកអ្នកbịចម្លងខ្ពស់ជាងមុនរហូតដល់15ដងនិងងាយបង្កជាជំងឺ COVID-19 ធ្ងន់ធ្ងរចូលយើងត្រូវការពារមិនទៅវិទ្យាសាស្ត្រនៅតែបង្ហាញថាវិធានការ3ការពារ3កុំនឹងទៅទទួលវ៉ាក់សាំងនៅពេលដល់វេររបស់ការ3ការពារ3កុំដើម្បីការពារខ្លួនយើងនិងគ្រួសារយើងនិងសហគមន៍យើងពីការចម្លងវីរុស COVID-19 មកថ្មីគ្រប់ប្រភេទសម្រាប់រួមគ្នាទទួលខុសត្រូវទប់ស្កាត់ការចម្លងវីរុស COVID-19
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Minister Hun Sen was one of thousands of non-European citizens holding a Cypriot passport has been edited. The reader's editor of the news outlet, Elizabeth viral in Cambodia, prompting a widespread backlash. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the story.
exile. In it, it stated that Prime Minister Hun Sen was listed as one of thousands of non-Europeans who had been given a Cypriot passport. The article was quickly condemned by the minister himself, in addition to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs demanding a correction from the Guardian. It also sent a letter to the Cypriot Penal Amendment in the kingdom, with the Council of Ministers approving a draft amendment which mandates only my nationality for the day. She has reassured that the error in the article has already been amended and footnoted accordingly. It will appear in the early hours of Tuesday morning. She concluded her email by saying that the Guardian regrets the concerned resolution. Maria Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us.
Infections of the Delta variant.
Previously, we opened the campaign on the 30th of April at this place and red zones in Phnom Penh for the first time in 4 districts. Now I have expanded to 6 districts and to some factories. In the COVID-19 daily report, we are able to gradually control the spread of COVID-19 because we provide vaccines everywhere. Now it is said that almost 100% of the adult population has been vaccinated. That's 99.24% out of 100%.
The defense minister has also announced that health workers will receive help from the military in getting booster shots into arms. More than 3,500 troops are joining 152 medical teams across the capital. Vaccinated adults must have been fully vaccinated at least 4 months before they can receive their booster shot. They are also being reminded by the health ministry to continue practicing the 3 does and 3 don'ts. Officials say this is the only way to maintain a strong defense against COVID and allow for a full reopening of the economy. With the second dose campaign for adults largely completed, the kingdom is now focused on increasing immunity by applying booster shots for the general public. Starting this Monday in 11 of Phnom Penh's 14 districts, the residents should bring their vaccination cards and head to a vaccination center to receive their free booster shot vaccine. The capital's remaining districts will start applying for the vaccines from the 30th of October, before other vaccination sites open in other parts of the country.
Cases down to 4,131. The latest numbers take the kingdom's total COVID-19 case count to 115,068. The death toll has reached 2,527. The number of patients treated successfully has climbed to 108,403. The schedule can be finalized. This was conveyed during Sunday's courtesy call by Mr. Delegate to the Prime Minister, which voted on the serving Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Tuesday. The EAC News reporter Maria Soko has the story.
Minister delegate to the Prime Minister in between the 2 countries. They said both of their respective countries had enjoyed outstanding leadership, cooperation in politics, economy.
Making headlines tonight. The Defence Minister launches the booster shot campaign, now underway in 11 of Phnom Penh's 14 districts. And the mighty Angkor warriors in training ahead of the second leg. Very good evening to you. I'm Andrew Barnes-Roberts. Stating that Prime Minister Hun Sen was one of thousands of non-Europeans receipt of his letter, and says the newspaper is taking the appropriate action. The report was first published last Sunday and when
initially published the article with the headline, "Law firm founded by Cypriot president accused of hiding assets of Russian exile." In it, it stated that quickly condemned and subsequently edited to read that members of Prime Minister's inner circle were holding Cypriot passports, not the Prime Minister himself. In addition to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs demanding a correction from the Guardian, it also sent a letter. The article has even sparked a constitutional amendment in the kingdom, with the Council of Ministers approving a draft amendment which mandates only Khmer nationality for the country's top office bearers. The Guardian's readers editor elicited and footnoted accordingly. Ribbons has also added that the edited article is scheduled to be listed in the Guardian, saying that the Guardian regrets the